Alright, welcome back everyone. So today we're going to be looking at a game I played against a strong opponent. I actually knew him from the Steam app, so good to see him here as well. And so let's look into the opening hand. First off, never upset to see Credicor. And we also have this nice combination of mining area and natural preserve that allows us to go over in this area and get either a card or two plants and get some titanium production. Happy to see Media Group. Never unhappy to see Acquired Company in the opening hand. Ice Asteroid combos really well with Media Group and Credicor's ability. And then we have Soletta here, so I can play Soletta and have heat taken care of. Ice Asteroid helps me take care of some of the oceans, and Credicor's ability can help me take care of the greenery. So I have in my hand a really solid plan to just terraform the planet and win with efficient actions. We've discussed it previously on the channel, but we don't consider dust seals because it's too expensive for a victory point early on. Rover construction, good players typically will not play that many cities early on, so the opportunity cost is too high. Food factory is not a good card, and birds is fine. It's just a little too much, and sled is pretty expensive early on. So I keep those cards. And I see my opponent is Eoline, which I don't love seeing because Eoline loves it when someone else takes care of heat and oceans for them and they can just go all in on plants. But let's see what they play. Viral enhancers, alright. Into Arctic algae, so okay, scary time. My opponent has an insane bio package already. And here I am with my dumb self that bought Soletta. Now the question is do I need to play Soletta? Because like I said, Eoline loves it if someone else takes care of the heat track for them. But it is the best scoring card I have in my hand right now. And I did tailor my whole game plan around playing Soletta. So, end of the day, I think I have to take Soletta. And I'm just not very happy at all with the fact that the Eoline has this setup. But, what you gonna do? So with that, I don't have enough money to do anything else, so I just pass. Of these cards, the two that are most interesting are Search for Life and Dome Crater. Obviously, Search for Life is a relatively cheap science tag, but also Dome Crater can combo really well with Eoline here. I think you still have to respect the science tag more than the Dome Crater because it is expensive, and I'm not really convinced that Eoline can afford to standard the energy and then play Dome Crater here. But it is something to think about. Here, it's an easy Nitro Moss. The plant tag is scarier than anything else here. Extreme Cold Fungus, something to keep in mind if he takes it over Livestock. Could mean he has some sort of microbe synergy. But these two are not quite as good. Though with Viral Enhancers, Livestock can be pretty good for him. So I'm a little sad about giving that over. Okay, so we passed Extreme Cold Fungus, so now we need to remember, yes, we should not pass the nitrite-reducing bacteria that was in the same pack, because if they take ECF and I give that back to him, then they have a combo and it could be kind of potent. So that's the cut here. And so we get ECF backs. Now I can go with this combo if I want, which is really interesting. You have seen previous videos how you can make use of these two to relatively good effect. But it's expensive. I can't do it this gen. It would have to be next gen. And I also want to get my natural preserve down, get my acquired company down. And if I keep delaying this each generation, I think the value is going to drastically go down. And I think that that's just too much to ask for. So I skip those two. I just take the science tag for potential science payoff. Because remember, I can't just go all in on terraforming anymore. My opponent's probably going to beat me if I go all in terraforming. I have to find a kind of mid-range approach here, and science can be a way to accomplish that. But let's go ahead and get our natural preserve while we can. I just go ahead and go there in order to have access to the oceans. And also, two plants could come in handy a little bit later on. So they play Archaebacteria, so really strong plant start. Now they're at 3 prod, 9 plants. I just have to pass. I'm 1 cash short on acquired company. That was the downside of buying the Search for Life, but I will be very much regretting it if I don't do it. And then he passes, which I think is a bit of a mistake, because by passing he's missing out on 1 income. I think the thought is the SP Ocean, so you get the 2 cash back and then convert again with Arctic algae. But I think that's a bit greedy. I'd have just converted. And immediately I get virus, which is fantastic. Gladly take that virus. And then Lake is the best card here by far. Then Plantation, don't give that to him. I could even play it with Search for Life, which is interesting. And I'm going to take all 3 because I do have Soletta and I do have the heat track going up. So Lake Marineris can pay off, but moreover, it's kind of with Arctic algae played by my opponent, I don't want to play Oceans. And with only 4 cards in hand, I'm not sure how often they'll be able to play Oceans. And they already have Ice Asteroid under my control. So really just Giant Ice Asteroid is the last really good ocean event left. Flooding is fine, Comet's fine, but with me having control of this, that makes Lake Marineris a lot more playable at the end of the game because there's going to be less likely to have oceans down. And so I think that's why it's worth speculating on here. And they do the SP Ocean lines that they can convert. But like I said, I think that's a bit of a mistake. I can now immediately media group and now virus their plants, which very painful early on. They turn around and sabo me, so fair enough. Go ahead and get the acquired company down and raise the heat, and we both pass. Okay, very interesting here. It'd have been kind of nice to have the extreme cold fungus with ants, but I think biomass combustors makes the most sense, and the reason it makes the most sense is because my opponent has 3 plant prod, and as Eoline, we're going to go up pretty rapidly, up to that 6%. So being able to get some power and slow down their terraforming is very valuable. Lichen makes the most sense because I don't want to give them another viral enhancer target with Lichen. And I'm not thinking there's going to be so many cities that urbanized area will be good here. We just cut the ants for the reason I mentioned about viral enhancers. Wave power isn't that impactful. And then urbanized area comes back, which I think is interesting. I don't think Phobos is good enough to cut for me. So I take urbanized area because given that I have control of the heat track, I kind of have more of a say on when this game ends. And so if I want, I can plan on using Credicor's ability to just put down cities and then urbanized area to great effect on any of their cities. So I think it's worth gambling on here. So I just raise heat, and they convert. I probably would not have done it there, but I'd have kind of tried to greed that. But without Ecozone accounted for, I can see why you might want to just go ahead and take it instead of continuing to greed it. But personally, I'd have done it over here for 1 plant, or over here for 2 cash, but probably 1 plant because I'm just greedy like that. So they play Adventures Guild. I don't like seeing that they have card draw now. They have a very strong rush setup with just being able to play a bunch of plants, and if they heat track stalls, which is my one counterplay to this strategy, now they have card draw, which allows them to find better cards so that even stalling is not very effective. So unfortunate, but I just have to pass now. They don't like their card, fortunately, and or I guess it wasn't better than playing designed microorganisms, so holy cow, now they're at 5 plant prod and 4 plants, so insane plants for them. Of these cards, none of them fit Ecoline strategy, but Shuttles looks to be the most playable since Oxygen is going up. Moss fits their strategy. I'm definitely going to take that away from them. Beam from Thorium could fit their strategy with Heat, so might as well just cut it. I don't think they're ever playing Water Import with their setup here. Just Moss is the only one worth speculating on here, in case I find Insects or Ecozone or Deco. And I have Ice Asteroid, so I can turn on Moss when I want to, but again, I'm not so eager to do so because it benefits them way too much. They do like their card from Inventors Guild, and then they convert. I raise Heat, and I pass. My opponent passes. Alright, so here's where we're going to get into a little bit of controversy. My opponent did not like that I just raised Heat and passed. And you'll know some of me, when I've talked in the past, I've talked about trying to 2-action whenever you can. So all I can say here is that I am not the morality police, nor am I the fun police. Play Terraforming Mars how you want to play it. And it's up to you on what you think is right. In this situation, I see an opportunity, but it's really, really stupid of me to try for this opportunity while he is still in the round with 20 cash. Because I see an opportunity to steal Gardener from my opponent. I'm first next generation. I have 2 plants. I have Titanium for Ice Asteroid along with Media Group and the Credicor rebates. I can move in with the Ice Asteroid and take the Ocean rebates from him, and that's going to give me enough plants to then be able to convert and then claim, and also be able to play the Biomass if I'd kept it. Did I not keep it? That seems like a mistake. Anyway, so that's what I see in my mind here. But if I were to do Ice Asteroid or do SP Greenery, he's just going to immediately claim. And so as a result, I would not want to do those plays because it's kind of wasteful for me and helps him out too much. So that's my rationale, and so that's why I just did raise heat and passed, and then the fact he did not claim means that I'm now able to do that. And he replied back, I don't really like that you only did one action, and all I could say is, sorry, I think it's fair to do one action when you need a several move sequence and need to sequence into it. But like I said, I'm not the morality police. You guys can reach your own conclusions on if you agree or disagree with this type of play. But now I can do the Ice Asteroid, which does benefit him a lot, but it gets me the plants I need in order to make this work. Now lets me SP Greenery for 2 cash back. And SP Greenery again for another 2 cash back, and that gets me my plants. Now I can convert those plants. We're at 6%. Now I can play Nitro Moss even, because I don't have to claim. I can claim to open next generation here. And my opponent is going to get the bonus oxygen as a result of this, which is a little unfortunate, but what you gonna do? Oh hey, it's a science payoff. Take the AI Central here. So if I had not just wasted 40 cash to take this milestone, I'd be a little happier about having AI Central. But as is, it's still plenty good here. Just, I'm a lot poorer now. Cut the GHG because you don't want to give that to your opponent. I take the Physics Complex because it allows me to play AI Central. I'm not thrilled about it, but I think it is responsible to have a win condition in your hand in this setup here. So now I must play Search for Life because we're at 6% oxygen. Then I claim. So he draws, he does not like his card, and then he 1 actions back. I think that's his way of protest. Fair enough. I go ahead and play the Moss, and I will just 1 action back. He does Dev Center and then plays Quantum. Alright. Makes sense. So he has a very strong science package. If he has anti-grav, that'll be a little bit scary. But I'm done. I'm not going to raise the heat because he's about to grab both of these, and I just want to make life a little harder for him. We did pass Deep Well, so he could play Deep Well to take the heat bonus, but if he does, that's fine. I'd rather him pay 13 for that than getting it for free if I raised heat. But he plays Cupola City instead, so Cupola City makes some sense there. Good city. It's relatively efficient for a city, and it's a good spot to place that city at. And he goes for the double conversion, makes a lot of sense. And he goes there to block off the urbanized area, but it also opens up a city spot for the future. So, Grass is the best card here. The others really aren't that good. I really like Olympus Conference. I really like Optimal Arrow Breaking with Media Group, but Olympus Conference is a little more responsible with AI Central and the possible threat of anti-grav. And hope he doesn't have too many space events there. Power Infrastructure has the most potential to be scary, building tag and all that. Power Grid's just often not that good. Just Olympus Conference. It doesn't look at this stage that Grass is going to be very good this game because Oxygen is flying. And so I don't really see the point in wasting my money on that when I can instead be standarding greeneries as Credicor and turning on AI Central. So pass on those. So they do standard city and convert again. So grabbing all the board space very efficiently. I do get the heat prod because I was patient and I play Olympus Conference. They draw. And then you'll notice I budgeted perfectly here. I can now standard the power and then play AI Central. And I get ICS. Very happy to see that. it's a good point dump later on in the game. And I draw, and hey, bushes is fine, especially if it's free. Space Station could work if I find more discounts. And I keep raising heat. I keep raising heat because my opponent has Gardener on lockdown, but I can be threatening Terraformer or Planner if I keep pushing heat. And minus 18 is still too far away for him to really have much reach with ending the game. I don't want to necessarily keep pushing heat once I get up closer to like the minus 6 or so, but for now it's still a way to get income since I invested in Soletta so early here. Okay, Earthcat is a card. I will take it. Okay. Lots of options here. I think Mohole is still scary enough. I shouldn't give it to him. It lets him get access to the south while getting some heat prod, which could be problematic. Power Plant, Underground Debts isn't the card, and IO's far too expensive here. So we just do Earthcat and Power Plant. Sorry, my dog decides now's the time he wants to start drinking water. Ignore that in the background, please. So we draw cards after we convert. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I do Plantation first and then convert just to close off that spot, and then I'm going to draw cards after that. I do this because the threat of asteroid or big asteroid, just better to be safe than sorry. So even though I miss out on the 2 cash from Earthcat for the Plantation, it's worth it to take the TR from him. So he draws, and he does not like his cards from the Adventurers Guild. I'm getting lucky that he does not like his cards from them so far. Solar Wind Power, Black Polar Dust. Don't like the Black Polar Dust so much, but Solar Wind Power is nice. It's power for the urbanized area if I need that over Power Plant. And I raise heat still. It does get the livestock online. He kept it with the viral enhancers, which makes a lot of sense. And I just pass. There's nothing more to do here. Then he plays Urbies on me, which is going to be a lot of points for him. Now that's another way for him to continue passively scoring with the 2 animals. While if the heat track stalls, I really don't have much other than my card draw here. So a little scary. Okay, these are cards. Card draw is very important. Research could be really bad with turning on AGT, and Standard Tech could let him end the game really easily. I decide that Restricted Area makes the most sense because I need more card draw with him having the passive animals, and that lets me go to the south here and get these nice rebates, and also lets me fight Landlord a little bit better. Okay, I don't know what he took over Open City, but I will happily take it. And then I get Research back, so he now has Standard Tech and can push for an end better. And I buy the 3 of those. They all make sense to me. Mainly Research because it opens up a line for anti-grab if I find it. Otherwise, I don't plan on playing it. So Immigrant City there. I don't think that makes too much sense personally. I can see the logic with trying to just grab the 2 points and convert between your cities for more points. But I think going south and getting access to rebates makes more sense. I draw a large convoy and trees. Very happy to see those. Though I do wish I had my birds in that opening hand about now. But Earthcat comes down. He grabs the mirror. Milestone. Draws a card. I play Restricted Area. I draw a card from Olympus. I add it to Olympus, and then I draw from Restricted Area. Vesta. Okay. So there is a Jovian line, but a little too poor to really play that at this point in Gen 9, I would say. Let's go ahead and get Solar Wind Power down, though, because now I can play the Open City if I want to. And also, it lets me draw a card. Okay, Lycan is fine. Goes ahead and gets me a little bit closer to being able to get the fight him on the ground for Landlord, make it harder to play. GHG is interesting, but I already have the heat control and I'm not really so interested in continuing to raise heat too quickly at this point. So I think it's a pass. Okay. These are cards. So obviously insects is pretty good with 4 plant prod. Uh, soon to be 5. Also research outpost though, he has 10 cards in his hand. I've got 14. Being able to just plop this down and start scoring is quite good. Um, Space elevator doesn't matter so much, and titanium mine's not really a concern. So now it just comes down to how many more plant cards does he have? Because I have some of the good ones here, trees and bushes. Uh, if I give him insects, does that let him win landlord too easily? Uh, and research outpost is just insane for scientists and discounting our hands, and he has a pretty big hand as well. I decide research outpost makes the most sense, but it is close. Then this pack comes decomposers is a good way to score. It's a microbe tag that's pretty efficient for if I find advanced ecosystems. He obviously does not give me back the insects. And I skipped the space elevator. Without a source of steel, it's just not worth it. But research outpost and decomposers definitely worth it. So I play the open city first. I want to go ahead and reserve the real estate right here. And I go ahead and convert right there, grab the TR while I can. They do greenhouses, so they can also grab the last TR. So now we're set on that regard. AI Central lets me draw my cards and gets back up to above 16, so I can now claim Planner if I want to. Getting Noctis City is really great. That's now another city placement to help combat on Landlord. Asteroid Mining, the game keeps trying to convince me to go Joves, but it doesn't seem good here to me. No rush to go for Planner just yet. He's at 30. That means there's no way they can get to 35 in one move. And Builder is far away from them. And Planner is also too far away from them. And this lets me take more real estate. So with Noctis played, with Noctis seen, there's 2 places I could do research outposts. One would be over here near the card for adjacencies there. The other could be here underneath Noctis City for potential adjacencies there. Both are reasonable. I choose here on the card though because I would like to draw. And it is Regolith Eaters, not a good card. So here's the optimal arrow breaking, Convoy from Europa. Get the 2 cards for them, so they're now adding 3 cards to their hand. Quite good. Also triggers Arctic Algae. At this point, I still don't have to claim, but I need to claim this generation because next generation they could just buy 4 cards and then they have Planner. So can't greed it any further. They do their Dev Center and Adventures Guild. They do like their card that time and they keep it. Space Station now is looking pretty playable to me. I'm planning on playing ICS, potentially Large Convoy, potentially Vesta in this situation. And I do decide, yeah, okay. Vesta gives me a out here. I can, if drag the game out long enough with this extra card draw, to eventually have a Jovian threat. And at the very least, it's a point and lets me make some progress towards interstellar colony ship. I don't think the heat's ending anytime really soon. So that's my analysis on it. But they get the heat from their optimal and take their animal. And they play indentured workers and the insects. So it's a 3-prod insects. Definitely not the worst, but still pretty good. That was another reason for them playing the greenhouses earlier, I think. So you can currently see I'm down by 11. That's not insurmountable, but they have funded Landlord. And as a result, I am now going to have to fight Landlord. And I'm going to have to find scoring opportunities that don't involve much heat. Because now I'm not taking the heat for a little bit because it's too scary at this point. I can't let him in too efficiently or I'm going to lose being down 11 points. Hilariously, Worms is actually quite a lot of plant prod for him. Pets could be good as if the game drags on though, so I take the pets. And then I take the algae. Again, I need to fight Landlord. Flooding is annoying, certainly, but I want to have that as an out there. Cut the worms because, like I said, it's a hilarious amount of plant prod for him. And I take algae and pets so I can continue fighting on landlord, but the rest of it's not good. They play flooding up there for a card. I think I'd have preferred to play it here to hit my MC prod and get 2 cash back, but that's fine. It does allow them to now convert between them for 4 cash. So it makes some sense. So it's time for the bio package. Go ahead and get the pets down before he can start putting down some cities. He steals my money with hired raiders. Very annoying. Plays the asteroid and blows up some of my plants, moving the game along a little bit here. Bribe Committee and Aquifer Pumping, not the cards you want to see from AI Central. Heather's okay. With Landlord funded, I do need to start fighting on the board. And Decomposers gives it some value. I go ahead and play the Bribe Committee. It's a cost of 4. Media Group gets me back 3. That means it pays for itself if the game lasts at least till next gen, which it looks like it will. Mars University is very scary. Now they have some more card cycling for the cards that they've been accumulating from the Dev Center. The passive scoring is still going on. I sell a card, and I raise the heat because it does let me play bushes, which I think is important here to continue fighting Landlord. Landlord, he's only winning by 2. So if I can fight this successfully, that's going to divert a lot of resources from him being able to end the game and get a nice milestone, an award flip on him. Investment loan, getting some money. I sell a card again. He does play Gene Repair, so he's pushing towards Antigrav perhaps. Skips the second action, I don't know what that's about. But I play my Algae, and I'll skip mine back, and he passes. Okay, so not AGT. Very good news for me. Now I play the bushes as well. So now I have a 8 plant prod to 7 plant prod. It's not so clear anymore that he's going to have the Landlord locked up. So I think Landlord was premature on his part to do there. Okay, these are all insane cards. Protected Habs, obviously great. Comet helps him towards ending the game, which I don't want to have happen. And Mass Converter also helps him. His mass is RSU value and potential heat for the future. But so I decide I'm going to cut that from him, but giving him Comet, not great. I'm not sure if that really makes sense, but at least if he takes the Comet, I get the Protected Habs, so I protect my plants. So it's some upside. Mineral Deposit makes too much sense here with Noctis City in hand, and Media Group, it's basically like a free 10 cash. And then this is crazy to me. He takes the Protected Habitats. I don't know why he did that, but I happily will take the Comet here. I think, in all honesty, upon watching the replay of this game, I should have passed Mass Converter, and I should have taken the Comet instead. So the fact that it played out like this, I think, was very fortuitous to me. I think it was a mistake on my part to have done it in the other way. But I do like the Mass Converter for myself because it turns on Physics Complex as well, which might have been what I was thinking of at the time. But I think giving him the tools to end with Comet is just probably too dangerous. Go ahead and start converting around Noctis City. Since I have it, those 2 plants get me what I need in order to get another conversion. Herbivores has already been played, so it makes sense to not have to wait on it. I placed the greenery there because if I were to place the city here, I'm taking away one of my conversion spots. So if I have to urbanize myself, I would prefer to urbanize on the card. That way I can then build the greeneries around here for the maximum adjacency as opposed to having restricted area block it right there. Just a small optimization. Even though it does mean I don't get the card immediately, I should still get it at some point, so it's fine to be patient. Oops. So they convert, they block off the city spot there, which makes enough sense. Alright, love kelp farming and I love imported hydrogen, but I can't play this. I have to keep waiting, because every ocean I put down is making it that much easier for them to win. So, just have to slow play that. And I restricted area. Draw my card. Okay, Cartel. It is, again, playable if it goes another generation. So, we'll have to wait and see. So I do the Mass Converter, draws me a card. AAA, not the card I'm looking for in Gen 12. I decide, screw it. It has to go another gen for me to win, so I'll play it assuming it will, and go ahead and play the cartel. They play Lava Flows. Great card. It's great that they were able to greed it out with the last remaining spot. Now the game is starting to look like it could approach an end. They play CEO's favorite project on livestock. That's fine, I suppose. I think they did pass me Physics Complex, so they know that they don't have it, so it can't get any better. But that only assumes that they have media archives. Without media archives seen, I think I would keep holding on to it because that could still be one cash from your opponent, and there's no real harm to waiting till the very end of the game. I'm sure not going to end it here. So I sell a card and play Mineral Deposit, just stalling out a little bit to see what comes. Okay, Big Asteroid, not what I like to see, because that gives them the heat they need to now take the ocean. Getting very close to ending here. It does let me play kelp farming though, so not all bad. So I'm now continuing to fight them on the ground, and that trees now lets me fight it even more efficiently. So now I have 14 plant prod to theirs, 7 lava flows was a tile, but now it's 15 to 13, and I have cities available and they don't. So all of a sudden a lot scarier position now, because if this gets flipped, you know, it's currently a 19-point game. If that gets flipped, it's now a 9-point game, and I have some point dumps in my hand that can be coming. So scary position for them. Deimos down though. That's a good card. Very, I don't want to call it lucky per se. They might have been holding on to these for a while, but suddenly that heat track, which looked pretty safe for me, no longer looking so safe. And then they play Eos with that steel. Great steel dump for them. So at this point, it's pretty clear that the heat track is not the limiting factor anymore. With the 1 power going over, all they'll need is 1 more space event, and they will have all the heat. So I might as well take the heat now and just say, I think you have some way of getting that 3 heat that I want to just secure my point, which is essentially a 2-point swing on you. And I'm going to go ahead and play Knock the City. It's good enough points. I should just go ahead and get it down. They get into steel with that green replacement, which makes enough sense. Since I played Knock the City, I have to now play Power Plant to ensure that my Physics Complex can be played. And I pass. Alright, so these are all cards for certain. NRA helps with fighting on Landlord. GIA, though, is Oceans for them, and will also kill my plants, helping them fight on Landlord, and Invention Contests can help me find some key cards. I decide it's got to be GIA in this situation. Then Predators, okay. I'll take a Predators. I have Imported Hydrogen and Large Convoy. I know I did pass him Protected Habitats, so maybe he has that and is going to play it now that he's past Predators, but still not a card I should pass, especially for Tundra Farming and Escarpment here. Okay, happily take the Invention Contest. I'm not looking to end, so I'm not taking GIA. I think that it makes a lot of sense to do Invention Contest since it's effectively 1.5 cards for free with Media Group. And Predators has a dump for Imported Hydrogen and Large Convoy, and maybe eating his animals if for some reason he is not interested in playing Protected Habitats. So he once again blocks off a city spot. Makes enough sense. I go ahead and play the Predators and go ahead and eat from him before he can play Protected Habs since he left that opening there. He draws his card, plays the anti-grab. Okay, so now he does have -2 to all of his cards. And then cycles with Mars U. I go ahead and convert around Knock the City. Just go ahead and get 2 cash and a plant. It could matter. Then I go ahead and grab 2 steel. Just maybe helping me play Urbanized Area or Physics Complex with that steel. He plays the Standard Technology. Okay, well, maybe he has enough now to end with Standard Oceans. We'll have to see. I can't help him end. Lake Marineris, great value. Imported Hydrogen, great value. Large Convoy, great value. All unplayable, though, because if I do, he's up 20 points. That's an easy win for him if I spend my precious cash on that. So I draw, since it's free. Okay, again, I see Trans-Neptune Probe, and the reason I take that over Ganymede Colony, even though I was talking about the Jove threat, is it's not really good enough, and Trans-Neptune Probe can help me with scientist fights if he's looking to fund scientist, and it's just a relatively cheap card with Mass Converter and Space Station played. So I play it just to draw a card. Okay, Colonizer Training Camp, not what I'm looking for. So they do Standard and Ocean. I draw cards. Heat Trappers, not very good. Solar Power, also not very good. Okay, they Standard Ocean again. Okay, so they're only at 16 cash, but oh, they got the Plant some Arctic Algae. That lets them do a conversion. Up there, it gets them the 4 cash that they need. Now they could sell 6 cards in Standard Ocean, and then that will be the end of the game, which is not something I'm happy to see, but it is what it is. I draw Tech Demo is great. Happy to get +3 cash and draw some extra cards here. Okay, Tech Stress and Ore Processor, not the cards I'm looking for. A little unlucky. He does decide to sell 6 cards in Standard's Last Ocean. So that's it. So I now have my point total I know I have to overcome. I have to score 25 points. Not easy to do. My opponent has 1 more greenery coming in. And I have 2 greeneries coming in, and I'm only behind by 2. So that means there is a way to flip Landlord here. And I can also do the urbanized area on myself now to help make that easier as well. So I get my point. I can convert my greeneries between these guys. And also I get my pet. So now my pets are up to 3. So 1 more city gets it up to 4. Good to know. My bad drawing continues. Subres, not really what I'm looking for. So I just start selling some cards, wait to see what he does, and he just surrenders. I think this was a little premature to surrender. I don't think it was insurmountable in this state that I have won. If I were him, I would make me prove it. But with 52 cash, when we talked about the game later, here's what he saw. He saw that I'm going to Standard a city right here for 3 points plus the pet, which is another point, so it's 4 points. Then I'm going to score the greeneries here. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10 points to his 1. Then that's also going to flip Landlord, which is another 10-point swing. So now it's 20 of the points solved compared to his 1. So I just have 6 points left to go. And since I'm Credicor 21 cash means I still have 31 cash remaining. That means I can just sell my cards, fund Thermalist and probably Scientist, or Miner if I don't have a use for my Titanium, or Banker since I'm at 21, since he's gonna pass, so Banker makes more sense. Anyway, point is I can fund 2 awards, and now I've won. I've managed to overcome the big point gap there. So yeah, my sequence was probably going to look something along the lines of Interstellar Colony Ship with the Titanium, get 7 cash back. I was going to Standard the city, then I would convert between these points here, and then probably do Physics Complex for 2 points, Large Convoy for 6 points on the Predators, and I agree with him. I think it was enough to win. Funding might also be correct over the Large Convoy. It just depends on how the money works out. I didn't analyze it further at this point. But that was the game. So well played by him. Very scary, strong start, but the lack of heat control made it go Gen 13, which gave me enough time to go into a victory. And not playing the Oceans was key because it meant he had to spend all of his money ending this generation, and meant that I now had all my money to take awards, because without that he could be really annoying by funding Scientists perhaps, and then I may not have the ability to flip it. I do, but that's beside the point. And he was obviously a good player to recognize those dangers. So one thing I want to point out with the game was back with the Gardener Steel. Always be careful when a Credicor has like 40 cash around. Don't assume that your milestones are safe. They are most certainly not. If you have the milestone available, I would suggest claiming it if it does not stop any other plays that generation, which it didn't in his case. Just claim it and avoid the whole worry. Now that being said, uh, without the ice asteroid, then that means that there's 2 more oceans missing here, and he may not even be able to end this gen. It'd be a Gen 14 game, which I'm not complaining about. But just a sequence of things that can happen. I wanted to point out that one because the Gardener Steel is very common play pattern you'll see from Credicor. So don't leave those milestones hanging if you don't have to. So that's all I wanted to talk about for this game. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, please let me know. Again, like I said in my last video, if you guys are interested in any coaching of your games, to send me a replay and I'll look through it and give you my thoughts. And if it's sufficiently interesting enough, I'll post the video up here. Otherwise, you might just get 1 or 2 blurbs from me, depending on how many get sent. But that's all I got for now. So thanks for watching, and see you guys later.